Rich teen spit on an elderly waitress. He didn't know the bikers were watching. The diner was buzzing that afternoon, sizzling bacon, laughter, and the clinking of coffee mugs. But then, the noise died. Everyone froze when a teenage boy in designer clothes threw his milkshake at an elderly waitress and sneered, "Do you even know who I am?" The woman stood still, trembling, her apron soaked. Nobody dared speak. But in the corner booth, a group of tattooed bikers slowly set down their forks. Their leader, a mountain of a man named Rex, watched the scene with narrowed eyes. He'd seen disrespect before, but this was different. What that boy didn't know was that every one of those bikers had once been broken, poor, and humiliated. And they were about to remind him what respect really means. Subscribe. My Imshinloomf boy's name was Brandon. 17, rich and spoiled. His father owned half the town, car dealerships, a construction company, and a political seat on the city council. Brandon had grown up believing money was power, and that power meant people had to bow. The waitress, Martha, was 68. Wrinkled hands, kind eyes, and the habit of calling everyone sweetheart. She'd worked at the diner for 30 years, through storms, sickness, and heartbreak, just to keep her little house paid off. That afternoon, Martha had accidentally brought Brandon's burger without extra cheese. A small mistake, but for Brandon, it was enough to unleash his arrogance. "Are you deaf or just stupid?" he barked, snapping his fingers in her face. The diner went silent. She apologized softly. "I'm sorry, dear, I'll fix it right away," but he didn't stop. He grabbed the milkshake she'd just served, sneered, and spit into it before tossing the glass onto her shoes. Laughter from his friends followed. "Guess she's too old to work here," one of them joked. In the far corner, Rex and his biker brothers exchanged looks. The youngest of them, Tank, clenched his jaw. "Boss, you seeing this?" Rex nodded slowly, setting his coffee cup down. The diner owner whispered, "Please, don't cause trouble." Rex's deep voice rumbled back, "Trouble? Kids already started it," as Brandon strutted out, flipping his car keys and laughing with his buddies. Martha quietly cleaned the mess on the floor. Her hands shook, but her eyes held something, not anger, but deep sadness. The bikers rose from their seats, and the lesson was about to begin. Outside, Brandon and his friends revved up a bright red sports car, still laughing. That's when they heard boots behind them, heavy, slow, and determined. Rex stepped out first, his leather vest glinting under the sun. Behind him, 6 bikers stood shoulder to shoulder. "Hey, rich boy," Rex called out. Brandon turned, smirking. "What, you want an autograph?" Rex's eyes darkened. "No, I want you to apologize," Brandon scoffed. "To that waitress? She's lucky I didn't call her boss and have her fired." Tank took a step forward, cracking his knuckles. "You think money makes you better than her?" Brandon's laughter faded when he saw their faces, scarred, tattooed, and deadly serious. He muttered, "You guys don't scare me." "My dad." "Your dad?" Rex interrupted. "Your dad ain't here, kid. And in the real world, men respect the ones who serve them food because they've worked harder than you ever will." Rex leaned closer. "You humiliated a woman who's old enough to be your grandma. So here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna walk back inside, apologize, and clean up the mess you made. Or we'll make sure your daddy hears what kind of man he raised." Brandon's face turned pale. His friends backed away. "Why you wouldn't?" Rex smirked. "Try me." Slowly, trembling, Brandon walked back into the diner. The door jingled open as every eye turned toward him. Martha looked up, startled. He swallowed hard. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said those things. Or done that." The old woman blinked in disbelief. Then she smiled weakly. "Apology accepted, dear." He bent down, wiping the floor with napkins. While the bikers watched silently from the door, the diner burst into quiet applause. After Brandon left, Rex and his crew sat back down. Martha came over, still shaken but smiling. "You boys didn't have to do that," she said. Rex replied gently, "Ma'am, people like you taught us manners. We just made sure he remembered them." That evening, something unexpected happened. Brandon returned alone. He walked up to Martha, holding a small bouquet of daisies. "These are for you," he said quietly. "I was raised wrong, I guess." Martha smiled warmly. "No one's beyond fixing, sweetheart." Brandon stayed that night, helping clean tables, washing dishes, and even serving coffee. When the bikers came in later, they grinned at the sight. Rex nodded approvingly. Looks like he learned something. From that day on, Brandon visited the diner every weekend. He started volunteering at shelters, and people noticed, even his father, who said one night, "Son, I don't know what happened, but I'm proud of you." Brandon simply replied, "I met people who reminded me what respect means." Martha's story and the lesson those bikers taught spread around town. The diner became a symbol of kindness and respect. And sometimes, when a young customer raised their voice, someone would whisper, Careful, the bikers might be watching. If this story touched your heart, share it. Let the world remember, respect costs nothing, but it means everything.